Hello everyone, this is Atul Mishra, lecturer in Mechanical Department of Praveen Patil College of Diploma Engineering and Technology. We are studying automobile subject. Okay, in this automobile subject we have completed our first chapter. Moving ahead on second chapter, in the previous video we have discussed about the uh, various transmission components. So in the previous video we have discussed about the clutch and the gearbox. Okay, after that we are going to discuss about the semi-automatic transmission, function and construction and working of overdrive. Okay, after the overdrive we are going to see automatic transmission. In the automatic transmission we are going to see in details about the fluid flywheel function, construction and working of the fluid flywheel, torque converter, function and construction and working of torque converter. Then again we are going to see function, construction and working of epicyclic gear train. So these are the components we are going to see in details in this video. So moving ahead to the semi-automatic transmission. What do you mean by semi-automatic transmission? A semi-automatic transmission tries to combine the advantage of manual and automatic transmission system. Okay, what we have discussed in our previous video, that is synchronous gearbox, or you can say constant mesh gearbox, that are the parts of the manual transmission, because we are going to shift the gear manually, means the control of the gear box is in our hand. We are going to select whichever gear we are required to, so that are comes under manual transmission. In this we are going to discuss about the semi-automatic transmission system. A semi-automatic transmission tries to combine the advantage of manual and automatic transmission system but avoid their disadvantages. Okay, what we do in this semi-automatic transmission, we want to, okay, we try to combine both automatic as well as manual, so as by the avoid of the disadvantages of that both. However, the complicated design of the semi-automatic transmission is still under development and the price is not cheap. So these are the conditions on which we can use the semi-automatic transmission system. It is only used for some luxury or sports car currently. Okay, we can see this kind of semi-automatic transmission in some kind of sports car and luxury car only, because the design is more complicated and it is not cheap as well. It provides even better fuel economy if the engine is constantly made run at a single speed. This transmission is capable of better user experience without the rise and fall in the speed of an engine and the jerk felt when changing gear. Okay, when we are going to experience the jerk, or you can say shock, when we are going to change the gear. Okay, so this is about semi-automatic. Then overdrive. What do you mean by overdrive? We are going to see in detail. Overdrive is a mechanism that allows an automobile to cruise at sustained speed with a reduced engine RPM, leading the better fuel economy, lower noise, and lower wear. Okay, what it going to do? What we are going to do with this overdrive? We are going to sustain a speed, and we are going to reduce the engine RPM, leading the better fuel economy, lower noise, and lower wear to the engine parts. It is mounted. It is mounted at the rear end of the gearbox. The gear ratio provided by an overdrive until it 30% more than the direct top gear. Okay, what will be the gear ratio of it? The gear ratio provided by an overdrive is 30% more than that of direct top gear. means the whichever top gear in that particular vehicle is there, that overdrive gear is going to give you more 30% of it. Okay, speed. The unit consists of an epicyclic gear train. Okay, what we are going to use in that overdrive, we are going to use a epicyclic gear train model of the gearbox. So the planet carrier is connected to the output shaft of the gearbox. When the sun gear is locked to the output shaft of the gearbox, the planet carries rotates about the sun gear. The ring gear rotates more slowly than the planet gear, thus giving more ratio than the direct drive. Okay, this in this 2 points we are describing how the gear train, epicyclic gear train, is connected to each other. Okay, the ring gear rotates more slowly than the planetary gear, thus giving more ratio than the direct drive. Then next point, overdrive is used in some sports car and luxury cars. Okay, where we can see in this overdrive in some sports car and some luxury cars. Next, moving ahead to the flywheel. So this is the flywheel, sorry, fluid flywheel. Okay, what we are going to happen in this? It consists of the following parts: a set of planetary gears, uh, solenoid and pole arrangement of for locking the sun gears, a ran and fork assembly linked to dash control knob for the disconnecting the overdrive when not in use. This is all about the overdrive. We are still studying the overdrive only. A flywheel assembly or overrunning clutch that drives the main shaft, and below the cut it speed. This is how the actually the overdrive look like, and what we have to draw in your exam is this diagram. This is the diagram which you have to draw in your exam. Okay, now moving ahead to the automatic transmission system. An automatic transmission use a fluid coupling torque converter to replace the clutch to avoid engaging disengaging clutch during the gear change. Okay, let's read it again. An automatic transmission use a fluid coupling torque converter. Okay, in the manual or semi-automatic we are going to use a mechanical coupling with the help of gear and all, maybe cyclic or whichever contact types of gear we are going to use. But in this automatic transmission we are going to use fluid coupling, means we are going to couple two different parts, or you can say transfer the power by means of fluid. Okay, uh, a complete gear set called planetary gear is used to perform gear ratio changing instead of selecting gear manually. Okay, a driver no longer need to worry about the gear selection during driving. Okay, he don't have to select lower gear or higher gear while driving. It makes driving a car much easier, especially for disabled or new driver. However, the indirect gear contact of the torque converter causes power loss during power transmission, and the complicated planetary gear structure makes the transmission heavy and easily broken. Okay, these are the disadvantages which are going to be associated with this automobile automatic transmission system. So this is how the fluid flywheel works. Okay, a liquid coupling is used to transmit engine turning effort, or you can say torque, to a clutch and transmission. The coupling is always a major part of engine flywheel assembly. As such, it is sometimes called a fluid flywheel. Construction of flywheel. The fluid flywheel details can be seen in the picture. Okay, it consists of two half draught nut-shaped nut-shaped shell equipped with interior fins. The fan, or you can say the fins, radiate from the hub and thereby from radial passages. The area of these passages perpendicular to their center line and are kept constant by a suitable design, since the circumferential width of the opening close to the hub is less than that the periphery. The radial size of the opening close the hub is made greater than that periphery. Okay, how it getting constructed? Let's see first. Let's see how, on what phenomena or what principle it is going to be worked. So let's see this two fans. When we keep two fans in front of each other, one is going to be connected with the power. Okay, when we start rotating and when we start this fan, so this fan is going to be rotated and it is going to be exert some air pressure. Okay, because the medium is air, so it is going to be exert some air pressure in forward direction. By that air pressure, that the frontal fan is also going to be rotate with this help of this air pressure. So this same phenomena we are going to use in the flywheel also, fluid flywheel also. But the medium is going to be not air, that is going to be liquid. Okay, fluid. That's why it is called as fluid flywheel. Okay, this is going to be driving member and the another is going to be driven member. Okay, when we rotate, or you can say when this driving member rotates by the utilization of engine power, so it exerts the fluid pressure to these frontal driven members blades. Okay, due to that pressure the frontal driven members blades are going to be experience some force, and due to that force they are also going to be rotate with the same speed. Okay, so in that principle this flywheel works. So let's see first what are the components of this fluid flywheel. So we are having first the driven clutch. Okay, this is driven clutch, then driven plates, then driven rotor. This is rotor. The first one is called as a rotor, and then second one is called as a drive rotor. This is driven rotor. Okay, this one is first one is driven rotor and the last one is drive rotor. So we have to remember the position of these two. Okay, we are going to fit this driven rotor first, and after that we are going to fit the drive rotor. Okay, then we are having drive hub, then driven shaft, then we are having fluid pressure applied clutch. Okay, this is the simple diagram of fluid flywheel which you have to draw in your exam. Okay, these are going to be covered it, or you can say in a shell. Okay, then we are having torque converter. Task of a torque converter: assume you are driving almost smoothly and you have to apply the brake. When you press the brake pedal, the vehicle drive wheels stop running. This means that the drive shaft and the associated transmission should also stop spinning. But there comes the issue. By applying the brake, you are not stopping the engine. So at the time of braking, if the engine and transmission are mechanically connected, this would lead to a serious mechanical failure on the engine will start. You need motion isolator for that purpose. You need a motion isolator for this purpose. This motion isolator is the torque converter. Okay, so the torque converter is able to efficiently isolate the engine rotation from the transmission at the time of braking. In normal driving condition, it transfers the engine rotation and power to the transmission. Okay, this is the function of torque converter. Okay, and the construction of torque converter and fluid flywheel is nearly same. Okay, in that also we are having a turbine, then another one is called as pump. Okay, in between we are having stator. Okay, This stator is missing in case of fluid flywheel, but in this case we are having a stator. Okay, this is how it functions. Okay, these are the fluid which are traveling in different directions. This is the engine side, this is the transmission side. Okay, the fluid is going to be transmitted from the turbine side to the pump side. After that, when the speed, or you can say when the brake is applied, then again it's going to be reversed. Okay, or the pressure is going to be what we have seen. Pressure, or you can say the speed, is getting isolated with the help of this stator. Okay, so this is how the torque converter works. Now the next one is epicyclic gear train. So this is the simple, or you can say, gear assembly. This is how they are assembled. Okay, the middle one is sun gear, the small one are the planetary gears. Okay, how we are going to change in this gear? We are going to make a single one is stationary, another one is rotating. By this stopping rotation and allowing rotation, we are going to have different gear ratios in epicyclic gear train. The working is same as we can see in these pictures. Okay, this one is the input shaft, and here we are having output shaft. The central one is the sun gear, the another one is planetary gears, and this is ring gear. Outer one is ring gear. Okay, this outer one is ring gear, this is sun gear, this is planetary gears. In this case also we can see the outer one is ring gear, and this is sun gears, and this is planetary gear. Okay, thank you.